everybody. Might have you scrunch in a little bit this way. All right, you maniacs, we are live.
Oh,
Hey.
do I need my phone? Yeah.
I don't know.
What are you going to read?
Oh yeah, is somebody gonna monitor the comments for us? Hello.
Mic's on. Everybody's mic's on.
I don't know. Did you turn them on?
I just turned mine on.
I'm gonna try not to smack you in the face, Monica.
I will
face.
go
All up in your
underneath
foot.
you.
You what?
I'll go underneath you.
Okay. I
Whoa.
like the sound of that. Oh, we gotta turn this thing off. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, what do I need here? None of this crap. You know this one was based on a true story?
No.
The Naked Massacre was based on the, what's his name? Richard Speck murders of Chicago. He actually did the exact same thing, killed a bunch of nursing students. I think he only got 5 of them, though.
Wow.
And he got caught, he got put on death row, and he started releasing videotapes from his prison cell. Mm-hmm. He was like having a great time in prison. He got breast implants, he started taking female hormones.
Whoa.
Had like, oh yeah, YouTube him one of these days.
Wow, I will.
Yeah, he's like, I'm having a blast, woo! He had to have like 3 boyfriends. Which
my
you
God.
would if you're in prison and you have a full set of breasts. Not that he was an attractive man, obviously. He's out killing nursing students, but, you know,
How
whatever.
old was he?
When he killed him or when...
Yeah, when he killed him.
I think he was like 24. So this happened in the 50s.
Oh my God.
And I think he was like a crazy World War II veteran.
Oh,
So that's how it goes down, inmates.
it's very odd.
Hey, who is with us already? I see we got 2 people on. Identify yourselves, please. I'm wearing my Reservoir Dogs costume tonight. If you were going to be... When was the last time you guys saw Reservoir Dogs?
About a year ago.
A few months
Who
ago.
was your favorite guy? I liked Mr. Blonde.
I don't remember
Michael Madsen.
them
He's the
all.
one that cut the ear off the cop.
Oh, yeah.
Who's your... Yeah. He was batshit crazy.
Yeah.
I also like Mr. Orange, I think. Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel was really good.
Are you a doctor? Answer the question. Are you a doctor?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I do a pretty good Harvey Keitel.
Well, nobody wants to
All right, fine.
say who they
Because
are.
nobody wants to hear me yap about the Naked Massacre. It's fine. I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
All right, here we go. You guys ready?
Ready, Freddy.
Is everybody locked and loaded? Yeah. That's right, inmates. We're talking about the Naked Massacre from 1976 here in Public Domain Month. This one got 5.1 stars on IMDb. How the fuck do you figure that happened?
Breast.
Breasts, there are breasts, and there is a lot of body hair in this one too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The amount of pubes, and we should have kept a pube count for this one because there were several thousand of them, and it gets pretty shabby if you understand what I'm saying.
How did people do it back then?
Just the friction alone, you would think you would need. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I let mine go from time to time. Especially being a runner, I can't hang. I got to shave it all off. I start getting weird rashes. See me walking funny for no reason. You don't even want to know what my underwear looks like at the end of the day. It's bad. It's bad business.
Catch it in a zipper.
And I got, dude, it can get gnarly. I'm just telling you right now. This one was directed by Dennis Hero, written by F.G. Granger, stars Matthew Carriere, Deborah Berger, and Christine Borsierin. So this one is supposed to take place during the Irish Civil War, which is a very strange backdrop to have a serial killer story at. But this whole story is pretty wacky to begin with. So we start off with a dude, clearly a crazed Vietnam veteran. You can tell he's crazy because he's got shifty eyes, and he's got long bushy hair, and he's got the Vietnam stuff, like the jacket, the sea bag. Whenever you see the jacket, man, previous to like 1985, that guy's going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Monica, how many men have you dated that wore that exact same jacket? I'm guessing several. I'm guessing multiples.
I can only think of one.
I knew it. I knew it.
That's all it takes.
And how many years is he serving in prison presently?
He's actually a pilot now.
Oh, okay, very nice.
It just got out.
I'm
of
glad.
prison.
I'm glad somebody making themselves a name for themselves. So this guy he just shows up in Belfast, Ireland during the Civil War.
Hey,
Right?
Gene.
Hey,
Hi,
Gene's in the
Gene.
house. Gene's movie reviews. Check it out on YouTube. You're gonna love that
Hey,
shit.
Steve.
Steve's in the
Hi,
house.
Steve.
Welcome aboard, gentlemen. I hope you're in the mood for some naked massacre, because that's what's happening. So he just now a lot of this is confusing to me because I don't know where this dude came from. He gets off a boat apparently, just starts walking around Belfast, and he immediately gets questioned by the Irish military, or I guess more historically accurate would be the British military, who were there for the Civil War, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I'm an American. I just got off the boat from Vietnam, and my boat just landed here, and that's why I'm here. I'm trying to get home." Well, why wouldn't he just get back on the boat? Number one. Number two, he doesn't have any money. So, if I'm assuming it's a military vessel. He's trying to find something to eat. If he gets back on the boat, they should feed him, right? But at the same time, he's wearing like blue jeans.
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah.
just like jump on a random boat and end up in Belfast?
Are
Yeah.
we sure he was really military?
He might not have been. He might have just been a scumbag
Yeah.
that
Stole
ripped
somebody's jet.
off an army depot. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me one bit. I mean, he is a scumbo, but we'll get to that in a second. So he's mindlessly walking around Belfast, and he goes to a church first, and he just kind of sits down and hangs out. And pretty soon there's a terror attack on the church. Somebody sets off a bomb in the church, kills a bunch of people, and he just kind of nonchalantly moseys out. And he kind of gives a few people the once over, like he might help them, but then he's like, I'm just going to move you over here, and then I'll be on my way. Well, all right. I mean, we already knew this guy was crazy to begin with. Why? Because the movie's called The Naked Massacre. And I don't know, did you guys read the synopsis before you watched the movie? All right, so you know this guy's a crazy bitch, is what's happening.
Yeah.
So from there, he just kind of wanders around. He goes to what I think is a bar
Yeah, I thought it was
slash sandwich shop slash
Pub.
some guy's garage is
Pub,
what it really
yeah.
looked
Pub.
like. They did have a pornographic pinball machine.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I don't know where you find that these days, or if that's just a European thing, but there was a pinball,
Somebody's basement.
probably somebody's bizarro sex dungeon arcade, but pinball machine with titties on it. Big fan of that. I don't know if such a creature exists anymore. Probably not. But he doesn't have anywhere to go, and so he just kind of hangs out there. I think all goddamn day, right? Playing the titty the titty machine.
Higher the score, louder the moan.
I don't think so. Just a
No.
picture of some naked chicks up there on
He
the
must
thing.
have been there for a while, because remember the bartender says, "You owe me money."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as he was closing, so he probably hung out there for at least 8 or 9 hours. So we get a lot of back and forth with the bar patrons about how the war is going and things like that. Now, as I mentioned, this country at this time is in the midst of a civil war, but for the most part, it's just business as usual for everybody. I mean, the old guys are still hanging out at the bar. There's people going to school and stuff, and church. People are going to church, obviously, and really, I mean, isn't Belfast the capital of Ireland, or is that something else? Dublin, I think, is the capital of Ireland, but Belfast is a major city in Ireland, I believe, and you would think that this place would be more war torn, but whatever. I don't really care. Anyway. So he's there at the bar for like 8 or 9 hours. He looks out the window at one point and sees the flat right across the street is like this big dorm style building, and he sees a bus of hot chicks roll up and get out and go into the flat. They're all wearing nurses' uniforms. But he is immediately like
Ooh.
fixated on these chicks in the nurses' uniforms. Now, I'm all for some sexy nurses, but I have to tell you, the uniforms that they were wearing, not sexy at all. They looked more like frumpy maids, maybe, housekeepers.
Yeah.
Not hot at all. And to be honest, again, these chicks were not, I mean, they were 1976 hot, but I'm saying like 6s and 7s, maybe.
Yeah.
And there was like,
I'd go with that.
There was a couple of low fours in there too. They weren't all. I mean, I'm not trying to objectify women or anything, but I don't know if they ran out of money in the casting budget or what. But there's some bad business in there.
Hey, Brianna.
Breezy's in the house.
Hi.
Hey, Breezy. Good to see you, babe. All right, so he's all fixated on these nurses now. Apparently, he gets set up at some kind of a hostel or something like that. It looked like a big squad bay, and there's just random squatters in there on bunk beds. But that's where he's going to bed down for the night.
Almost like a homeless shelter.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like a hostel or some kind of a situation. He has no money to get home. He has no money for food. He has no money at all, really. Which begs the question of how the fuck he got to Ireland to begin with. He said he got off a boat. Well, get back on the boat.
Maybe he snuck on that boat and just got off on the
This
Or
dude-
use the last of his money.
Yeah.
This dude is some kind of this guy is the worst travel planner ever because
Right.
he is completely fucked himself.
didn't see that one through.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I'm not like map or the world suave, but like Vietnam to Ireland.
It's a bit of a stretch. Yeah, it's a
long
bit of a
walk.
stretch. You can't. I mean, you're not going to take a bus for those two. It's not like Greyhound accessible, I believe. All right, so he's there. Now, this part is kind of shitty because he gets a bunk, and it's right next to an Asian gentleman. So these two strike up a conversation, and he's like, hey, where are you from? And the guy's like, I'm from Vietnam. So he pulls out like a silver star, and he's like, you see this? And he's like taunting him with it. I got this for killing a bunch of Charlies in Vietnam. And the Asian guy's like, shove it, man.
Yeah. Didn't he ask him or say, do you want it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want this? Shove it, man. What the fuck? Why is there not a fist fight happening right now? I don't know.
Right.
It's stupid. It's weird. All right, so somehow, despite all of that, these two strike up a very bizarre friendship kind of a thing. Because the next morning rolls around and they go out and they're hanging out together and like walking around Belfast.
Yeah, that was weird.
And the Asian guy makes him like a weird homo prostitute kind of a proposition, I think. He's like, a guy with your good looks could make a lot of money in London. I know friends if you're willing to do things. I
Yeah.
think that was going to go a gay route, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, hey,
I am 100%
you're pretty sure about that? All right, Monica is our gay authority here in the padded room. She says, yeah.
For gay men, yes.
All right. Inmates, hit the like button if you think Monica is the gay authority here in the padded room. So that's weird. How are these two friends all of a sudden? That was like the most offensive thing you could have said to this dude, and now you guys are out palling around looking for sandwiches and stuff.
And men.
And possibly men.
Yeah.
I mean, there might have been... It never went full on into gay territory, but I think it was well on its way.
Yeah.
Because things are going to get pretty wacky here in a second. So these two are out cruising around the town. We're going to cut intermittently back to the nurse's house. There's not a lot going on there. We got a lot more storylines out of the nurses than we needed. It's long and boring. One of them's pregnant. One of them wants to start a lesbian relationship with another one, but the other one's not really interested. What else? There's one hot one that's dating like a rich old guy that takes her around. None of this really matters. So we're just going to pretend like it didn't happen. Cut back to our weird possibly gay serial killer guy. He's out there palling around with his new Vietnamese friend. This random chick just comes running past him, and then two guys are chasing her. So this dude, I guess, thinking he's going to be a good Samaritan, starts chasing those guys. And what happens is the chick that was running trips, and the other two guys catch her, and he's like, hey, hold up there, you fuckers. What's going on here? And then we find out that she stole one of their wallets, so... our serial killer picks up her purse, goes through it, finds the guy's wallet, gives it back to him, and then steals her cigarettes. And then they all kind of have a laugh, and then they all just kind of go their separate ways.
That was so weird.
Very strange. Normally somebody's going to get punched out in that equation, or at least some kind of a kung fu thing, you know? You're saving the damsel in distress.
So,
Now, damsel is a very generous word for this individual.
I don't think there's a rating scale for this one.
This is bad. This is bad.
It went negative.
We used up our entire budget on the one hot nurse, and now we're down to somebody that we probably found at a gas station or a bus stop, perhaps. She is a prostitute. She looks like I guess an Irish prostitute should look.
She probably was in real life.
Well, I hope she got paid for this, because this is tough work here. So the prostitute is like, she's like, you saved me. And he's like, yeah, I guess I did. So she's like, come on with me. You don't have to pay me. As in, I'm going to have sex with you for free. I'm going to give you a freebie because you saved me from these two turds, right? All right. So, man, this prostitute is, what do you think, like mid-50s, probably?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not looking good.
No.
Not looking good at all, folks. It begs to reason why she's stealing people's wallets, because I think her glory days of being a prostitute have come and gone.
Yeah.
And now she is resulting to petty theft, unfortunately.
She's like, $2?
Yeah.
Just $2.
Well, just give me your wallet anyway, then, you fuck.
Yeah.
So they go back to her apartment. This movie had the worst dancing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
And there were several examples of it. There is some very bad dancing in this movie. Not that I'm any kind of a connoisseur of like choreography or anything like that, but this is bad. So they go back to her apartment. She's like, I'm gonna give you the around the world or whatever, and she takes all of her clothes off. That's bad.
Yeah.
It is not good. And dude, like I said, mid-50s, probably has a few kids, could lose some weight, bad teeth, doesn't looks like she's had a hard life. But she's like, I'm gonna have sex with this guy for free because I'm a prostitute, so I'm gonna extend him a professional courtesy since he saved me from the two thugs that I ripped off, and it's going down. And he's like, I don't want to have sex with you. And she's like, what? She's like, yeah, just could you just dance? And she's like, no. So then he pulls out a knife and he's like, dance, and he gives her like 35 cents too, which is borderline insulting, right?
I thought he didn't have any money.
No, he pulled out like some change.
Yeah,
and
he put it on the counter.
she's like, that isn't going to get you anything for that chicken scratch. So then he pulls out the knife and then he's like, yeah, just dance and I'll get out of here. And he's like, I'll play my harmonica for you. And what follows is it's not even. It's okay. We've all seen those field sobriety tests gone wrong. Imagine watching one of those on fast forward. I feel like that's what was happening here. Imagine if you had ants crawling down your spine and you were like trying to get them off your spine, like, oh yuck, there's something on me. That's what this looked like. That's the caliber of choreography that we're dealing with here, folks. And she's naked while she's doing it, and she's like got like this borderline terrified look on her face. This is not erotic in any way.
No.
But he's like picking up the tempo with his harmonica, and eventually she gets tired after about, a minute and a half of this and just collapses. Clearly she's not in the best shape physically either, so she collapses and she's like, well, I'm done dancing. I'm just going to suck your dick now and we can get this over with. And then she starts talking about his mom. Maybe you've got a mother waiting for you or something. So then he kicks her, and then he just walks out. Mm-hmm. And this is where we get the big reveal that she was wearing a wig. Because after he leaves, she's like, God, son of a... Made me dance, and now I gotta fucking... Fuck. Anyway, it's bad. All right, so that sucks. Now we're going to cut back to our nurses. We find out that one of them is having a birthday party. Mm-hmm. Big hoopla. They got the cake and all that shit, and everybody's having fun. Our serial killer is back to just wandering the streets of Belfast aimlessly. But he goes right back to the nurse's house because he's kind of fixated on them now. This part is probably the creepiest part of the whole movie because he goes back there and he's hungry, so he just kind of pops in the back door, and the hot nurse catches him, and they have this very awkward, very uncomfortable conversation. Yeah. She's like, what are you doing in my house? And he's like, I'm looking for food, sorry. And then she's like, well, okay, here's some food, get the fuck out of here. And then he's like, you kind of look like my wife, here's a picture. And then they just kind of like have this very awkward... you could tell that the hot nurse is trying to get him out of the house, but he's just coming up with more awkward reasons to stay in the house. And eventually he leaves, which is good, but she like one of her friends walks in the middle of this, the pregnant one, I think, and they're both like, "God, what the fuck is This is why we have guns here in the United States. When somebody pulls some shit like that, I'm gonna pull some steel on them, or at least, hey, I got a knife, you motherfucker. Get out of my house. I'm not giving you anything." Anyway, he leaves, which is good. Goes back to the park and eats his sandwich that they gave him and stuff like that. And now we're going to cut back to we get more of the nurse storyline, which is inconsequential. It doesn't really matter. The lesbian chick is like trying to get on the not lesbian chick, so we get some awkward conversation there, and they're like, "Ooh, I like you, but I like you like you. When you really like somebody, it's okay to be physical and stuff." I tried to have the same conversation with Buddy. He said, "No, you may not." I said, "Well, I'm gonna towel you off in the shower, you son of a bitch." You son of a bitch. Which was weird. That was a weird for no reason. And I know that women see this whole thing differently. But when the not lesbian chick decides she's gonna go take a shower, the lesbian chick says, "Okay, I'm gonna towel you off afterward." Does that happen? You just friends take showers and.
No, but I had a lesbian girl.
Was she trying to get on you?
Yeah, she kept telling me how she wishes that she could be dating me and how
Hey.
she would treat me
Hey
right.
there.
And, doing the back massage
Ooh.
thing.
This just got juicy.
Yeah.
I was like,
Better
"I'm
than the movie we're
sorry.
doing.
That's right.
You don't look like Cindy Crawford, so it's not going to go down."
Oh,
Man.
okay.
Damn, Buddy told me the same thing. Said, "I'm going to towel you down anyway, you fuck." So that's pretty wacky. So they have this awkward conversation. It doesn't fucking matter. The serial killer comes back that night. He goes back to the hostel, tosses and turns in his bed for a little while, and he's like, "I'm going to go get some air." And then he goes outside and walks right back to the nurse's house. This time he breaks in, right in the middle of this awkward, half-assed lesbian conversation, pulls the knife on these two chicks, and he's like, "Don't you say a fucking word." So they're like, "Oh God, don't hurt us. We were just thinking about being lesbians. We're not going to do anything." Marches them upstairs to where the other girls are sleeping. So he careens all the girls into one room, and he's first. This is so weird, and it's kind of awkward. It's unfortunate that it took us a good 45 minutes to get to this point in the movie.
Yeah.
That's the motherfucker of this one, because up till now we've had a lot of footage of this guy walking around, a lot of non-consequential storylines with the nurses that nobody gives. I couldn't name a single one of these nurses. Could you guys?
No.
No, of course not. Doesn't matter. They all kind of look the same anyway. What else? A lot of drunken Irish shenanigans and stuff like that. There was an attempt at a firefight in the streets at one point. Because again, we have this Civil War angle going on where people are dying. And one of the nurses was on her way home and she saw a guy get shot. So now she's kind of shaken.
Yeah, you're a nurse. Grow some balls.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe she was
Oh.
wanting to be like one of those the maternity nurses or something. I don't know. She was not prepared to see a dead guy. Yeah, that's for sure. Anyway, she's shaken because that happened. But now we're finally getting to the meat and potatoes here, because he's inside the house and he's got all the girls wrangled into one bedroom, and he's got the knife and he's like, "Okay, all right, I'm going to tell you some real shitty jokes here." He starts telling them jokes about a guy sees an elephant or something like that. It doesn't matter. And then he shows him his tattoo. What is going on?
Right.
You're holding these people at knife point so you can practice your stand-up comedy routine? I mean, there's other ways to go about this, sir. Just saying. So that happens. And he keeps them somewhat satisfied with the premise that he's just going to rob them because he needs money to get back to the United States. Which I get, but if you're going to rob them, get the money and get the fuck out of here. So it doesn't really make any sense that he's hanging out. But he gives them some excuse about he's going to wait until the other two come back, because there's two nurses that are at the hospital working the late shift. He gives them some kind of an excuse about how he's going to tie them up till the other two get there. That way he can get everybody's money and then be on his way. I'm not buying it. Are you? No, hell no. I mean, how much more money are you going to get out of 2 nurses? Chances are these chicks are broke anyway.
Right.
They're students, for Christ's sakes. Anyway, we get a bunch of fucking half-ass conversation and him making awkward jokes. Eventually, he takes the one hot nurse, takes her in the other room. Now, this is the one he had the awkward conversation with earlier in the movie. He kept telling her how much she looked like his wife and stuff like that, which, by the way, she denied completely. So from there, they go in the other room. We get some more awkward conversation. We find out that this guy is, in fact, a Vietnam veteran. And his major beef with women right now is that he went away to war. His buddy got injured his buddy got hepatitis and got sent home before he did. And because that happened, his buddy got his wife pregnant, and now he hates women is what his problem is. So that sucks, and he's going to take all this out on this poor young lady. So I think the plan was to put a raping on her, but, well, he failed. I think he failed. I don't know what he did. I think he did jizz. I think he went to completion. I just don't think he achieved penetration. I think he just dry humped her to death.
Yeah.
Which is a horrible way to die, ladies and gentlemen. He takes his belt off, wraps it around her neck, and he's like, "Yeah, you're like a dog." And he's like, like leading her around, and she's still kind of tied up. So he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna fuck you now." He keeps saying, "If you don't mind." I don't know if that was supposed to be like his killer catchphrase, but it got pretty annoying after a while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to undress now, if you don't mind.
I do mind.
Yeah, I do actually.
They would have said, I do mind.
I do, and if you really cared, you wouldn't be holding me at knife point, you motherfuck.
Right.
Anyway, so she's like freaking out now, and he's like, "Don't scream, don't scream, don't alert the others." So he's got her on this leash thing, and then I guess he raped her. I think he got on top of her, and he's like, that's my rape face, by the way. And then as he's doing that, I mean, I don't think he even got her clothes off. Did he? Not her? The other two he got naked, but I don't think he ever got this one.
No.
I think he like touched her and came. Yeah.
How embarrassing.
Premature ejaculation.
Oh, God.
Which that has happened to me.
I had nothing to do with that. I don't know anything about that. I don't think it was Buddy either. I don't know.
No.
Anyway, what happened? So yeah, in the course of this weird dry humping thing, he strangles her and she dies. So that sucks.
Did you happen to notice at all, like, when he was talking with this nurse, like, I almost felt like she was kind of giggling.
Yeah.
Like, she had
Yeah.
a smile on.
Yeah,
I was
because like,
why are you smiling?
well, he's just walking around the room going, Jimmy boy, if you don't mind, Jimmy boy. She's pregnant now. I was away at war. Jimmy boy. Guy's a fucking lunatic, man. You know? I mean, I get that. That's what you're going for, but what the fuck is going on? Do you want to rape somebody, or do you want to jack off all night? Because it's looking like he was more into just psychological, like he needed some therapy, and he was going to force these chicks to give it to him, which is fucked up. Anyway, so she's dead now, and he's all sweaty and disgruntled. So he goes back upstairs, gets the 2 lesbian chicks, and he's like, okay, it's going down now. First, he takes the one that didn't want to be a lesbian, takes her out, takes her to her room, and she's got like a music box thing going on. So he's like, oh, that's fun. So they go downstairs, and he's like, you were talking to that other chick when I came in. What were you guys talking about? And she's like, she wants to be my special friend. And he's like, oh, well, let's go get her. So he goes and gets her, and then he makes these 2 dance to the music box. This is instance number 2 of horrible dancing in this movie.
Yeah.
This is I mean, I get it. You're at knife point and you're bound and gagged and you're not really feeling the vibe, feeling the rhythm per se.
Of a music box.
It's of a music box. It's not like a catchy tune or anything, but whatever. And then he's like, okay, all right, enough dancing. He's really into chicks dancing, this guy. So he's like, okay, I'm going to need you to take your clothes off, if you don't mind. And they're like, well, we do, but I don't want to get stabbed. So they both get naked. And then he's going to make not lesbian eat lesbian's box. And, not lesbian clearly is not into this at all.
Right.
But I think lesbian was like
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this guy a Christmas card. Yeah. I'm gonna need this dude to show up next Thursday. And
my dream come true.
that's right. Shit. I would have let him in myself if I knew this was how this was gonna play out. So not lesbian is like he's like got him laid out on the coffee table. And lesbian is like, just do it, it'll be fine. Just do what he says, you don't want to get stabbed. Hey yo, Randy's in the house.
Howdy.
Hey.
Tom Hardy. Thank you for joining us, Tom Hardy. We're talking a little naked massacre here in a very unwanted lesbian situation on a coffee table, which is not not the route that I would have went. If you're looking at living room furniture and places for oral sex to take place, let's go with an ottoman. Let's go with something a little more airy, a little more give and take. Anyway, they're on the coffee table. He's like got to push her head into the other chick's box, which, by the way, was unkept to say the least.
Yeah.
Again, 1976 Bush. So she's like, no, and she's really fighting the muff dive there. So he takes.
Like, I'm choking.
Yeah, he's like trying to
Hairball.
put the head down, and she's like, I'm not gonna eat her box. So he takes his belt off and starts whipping her in the ass with it, like hard. And she's like, she's freaking out, as she should. I imagine that hurt pretty good. And he's like, stop screaming, stop screaming, stop screaming. So eventually he gets everybody calmed down. Now we're going to cut to what's going on upstairs. These chicks are just terrified. And there's one that's trying to get her binds off. And that's it. Everybody else is just sitting around terrified. Unexpected lesbian encounter. Caught that on Pornhub last night. That's one of my favorite subcategories, Tom Hardy. Anyway,
I was watching taboo stuff.
That's a good one
night.
too. I like the taboo stuff only when it's a mom thing because
That's what I
that's my
finally
favorite.
watched.
I'm a MILF man in the porn division. If anybody's looking at sending me any more porno, don't send me any more pornography, please. Monica brought me. I have a whole goddamn closet. I'm looking for reasons to send this to people.
Can't give it away.
I
fast
cannot get rid of it. I have tried. I'm just sending it to random people at this point.
enough. Start walking downtown.
Yeah, I thought about it. One for you. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you.
What's your pleasure?
So anyway, he's whipping her and she's freaking out. Eventually he gets these two chicks calmed down and he's like, okay, I'm not going to touch you, but I'm going to make her touch you. So he gives not lesbian the knife and he basically makes her kill lesbian, which sucks. After that, she immediately passes out. And I don't know what the plan was with her after that. It looked like he was going to shampoo her hair, which is a strange move to make because she's unconscious. I mean, she's covered in blood. I'll give you that. But he takes her to the kitchen sink and puts her head in the sink as if he were about to give her some kind of a shampoo or scalp massage or something like that. And then he's like, okay, I'm just going to leave you here. And then she wakes up and she's screaming and freaking out. So then to quiet her down, he, of course, has to strangle her on the spot. Strange things going on. So now he's like, oh, God, I'm getting fucking sick of these chicks.
I just don't understand why, when he gave her the knife to kill the other chick, why she didn't stab him.
Very good point.
Right.
That is a very good point.
Ah.
Well, right before that, he leaves the knife on the couch. Lesbian grabs it, and she's like, I got you now. And he just lazily kind of takes her wrist, takes the knife out of her hand, and we're right back to square one. She was like, I'm going to stab you. Wait, I want her to eat my box first. So you take the knife. Let's continue with the thing. After that, though, I'm going to kick the shit out of you.
That was her way of telling him to force.
Yeah,
her to
let's finish this up, and then we'll talk about the knife there, mister.
Right.
So, so that's gnarly. Right about now, we're going to get to, he goes back upstairs, and now we've got, one of the chicks actually did get free and manages, I think what she was going for was she wanted to give him the idea that she got away. Mm-hmm. So she opens one of the doors to the bedroom, but then hides under the bed. Solid move.
Very smart.
So that's how he goes up there and she's like, where did the other one go? There was another one here. Mm-hmm. And there's two chicks left at this point. One of them has gone basically completely catatonic. she just keeps saying the Lord's Prayer over and over again, but not the whole thing, only the first line. Our Father, thou art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's it. That's all she knows. So she just keeps going with that over and over again. The other one is, she's not as catatonic, but she's the one that's been panicking from the get-go. Mm-hmm. She's like, which is fine. So he's like, oh shit, where's the other one? Where did she go? Right about now is when the other two get off work. So they roll up. He sees them roll up outside. They've got like a police escort now because of the Civil War. So he's like, oh shit. He goes running downstairs, kills all the lights, like unplugs them or something like that so they can't turn them back on. Mm-hmm. And to make a long story short, he stabs them as they walk in. Does like a little stealth Michael Myers move on them and kills them both. Yeah. Unfortunately, they missed out on all the weird sex stuff, but I think it's probably better for them that way. So now he's like, all right, God damn it, I'm gonna do this. So I gotta, sun's coming up, I got other places to be. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. So he goes upstairs and he takes the one that's doing the Lord's Prayer over and over again, and it's kind of anticlimactic. He just kind of hugs her, and I guess he stabs her because she's doing the Our Father, Our Be. He does like a stab face, and then he just kind of lets her slump over to the carpet. Lights out for her.
Thank God.
Now this is where things get weird, as if they're not weird already.
Right.
He takes the other chick, the one that's been panicking the whole time, and he's like, "Okay, you look kind of like my daughter, I think. So come on, let's go downstairs." So he takes her downstairs, takes the gag out of her mouth, and basically cuts her loose. And she has, at this point, goes completely cuckoo bananas. Mm-hmm. When she sees the catatonic chick get stabbed, she starts laughing and cackling like, hee. I'm like, oh, okay, this might be like his protege or something. He's going to groom her to kill chicks and force weird lesbian encounters. But she goes downstairs with him, and he's like, can I make you something to eat? And she just won't stop laughing. She just keeps laughing, and she's like smearing blood on her face and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, cool. She's going to kill him maybe. Mm-hmm. So she takes the knife, and she's like playing with it, and she's like, ooh. And then she sticks herself in the hand, and he's like, oh, you cut yourself there. And she's like, yeah. And then she just takes the knife and rams it right into her chest and kills herself.
She could have killed him too.
What the fuck is going on with these people? What is going on here? I don't even know. I don't know.
It's his eyes.
It's what it is. It's because he's so polite. If you don't mind.
If you don't mind, I would like you to stab yourself.
He's a war veteran Jedi.
That's what it is. I'm going to start throwing that around a lot more. Honey, a little oral sex, if you don't mind. No? Oh, shit. I guess that didn't
Tell
work.
us how that works
It's not going to work. I'll tell you right now. Anyway, so now, as far as he knows, all the girls in the house are dead. So he's like, all right. Peace out. So he goes and empties everybody's purse, makes off with some cash, and hits the road. Goes back to the bar the next day, which is right across the street from this house. Mm-hmm. Settles up his debt for the ham sandwich that they fronted him the day before. Plays the porno pinball machine for a little while, and then walks out as the crowd is gathering outside the nurse's house. You got the reporter there. You got all the the Irish street farers, and he's asking them what happened and what's going on. He's right there in the crowd, and the reporter's like, "Hey, what do you think is going on here?" The guy's like, "I don't know, just leave me alone." So he walks off, and as he goes, he's going about his business here in Belfast. I guess he's waiting for a boat or something. I don't know what he's doing.
The same boat.
It's probably. Why did you even get off the boat to begin with, you broke bitch? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, as he's back at the weird homeless shelter / youth hostel place, he sees the news article that one of the chicks survived, and one of them, managed to get out by hiding under the bed. And she gave the report about the tattoo. What did it say? Born for Hell, I think. He's got a Born for Hell tattoo on his forearm. Looks like he paid about $3 for it. Mm-hmm. Looks like something.
Didn't he say that too?
Something like that.
$1 or something.
You got it when he was 14 or something like that. It looks like shit, but now he has an identifiable mark that can trace him to the crime. Yeah. So, in classic homeless dude fashion, he decides to go into the restroom there at the homeless shelter, try to cut the tattoo off himself, which is on his forearm, right on the artery. So he's digging into his forearm there, loses a lot of blood and blacks out. Wakes up in the hospital. He's laying right next to the catatonic chick that he tried to kill, and the doctor's like, they obviously did the math on the tattoo, and the doctor's like, so it's you after all. And then we get our closing credits, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. Actually, there weren't even any closing credits. It just showed pictures of the 8 chicks that he killed, and that's it.
Yep.
Movie's over. Get the fuck out of here.
Thank God.
This is
over.
a bad one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not furious at this, and the reason why is because it's made in This is standard pacing for horror films, mid-70s. Whole lot of build-up, very little payoff. Certain movies, kind of broke the mold on that, like your Halloweens, your Dawn of the Deads. Your big-name directors, Wes Craven's, they kind of got us out of this kind of horse shit.
Thank God.
Thank God for that. But this is kind of what we had to deal with pre-John Carpenter and Wes Craven. It's boring, man. I'm sorry. It is a boring fucking movie. As I mentioned earlier, it took about 38 minutes before he even got inside the house.
Yeah.
Leading up to that, we got a whole lot of him walking around. The weird thing with the prostitute. The weird thing with the Vietnamese guy that wanted him to go gay. The weird thing in the homeless shelter. We didn't need any of that, did we? No. What did you guys think of Naked Massacre?
Terrible.
It's bad.
I hated this movie.
It's bad. I'm not... Go ahead.
I feel like, and stuff made in, 40s and 50s, I could do all of those movies.
Sure.
The music, the storyline is good. 60s, 70s, fuck! I hate the disco times. And everybody, horrible.
It's this pacing. It's this 70s pacing.
Just like all the cars they made in the 70s.
I think what it was, 70s cars were bad, by the way. Those are fucking death traps. But I think what it was this was coming right off the heels of the Alfred Hitchcock era. And Alfred Hitchcock, we know, built his movies on suspense and feelings of dread and what's coming. That might have worked if it was done a little bit differently. But there really was no suspense or dread. If I hadn't read the synopsis to this and known what was coming, I would have turned it off. Because I would have been, this is just a story of a homeless dude that's lost in Belfast.
Yeah.
First
Boring as fuck.
10 minutes, I knew this was going to be a horrible movie.
But, I mean, I feel like they tried to lighten it up because you had like a church bombing in there. You had like that weird shootout in the street. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm back on board.
Boobs.
There was boobs, even though they were on a pinball machine. And this weird lesbian thing in the shower. That was more awkward and uncomfortable to me than anything. I'm not saying I couldn't beat off to it. I'm just saying it felt weird. I was weird about
Well,
it.
that prostitute was more uncomfortable.
Oh,
than
God.
awkward.
And then this prostitute.
Ugh.
They got her out of a retirement home for prostitutes. Holy cow.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'm making a comeback. No, please. It's bad. There's a reason this movie's in public domain, obviously, because it's bad and it's free to watch. It's on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it.
Don't.
Did we pique your curiosity? Are you going to check out the Naked Massacre?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I say
If you do, send Buddy hate mail.
this was his pick. This was his pick, inmates. I had nothing to do with this. Although technically it should have been Monica's pick, so I think it's her fault for not showing up last week.
Which forced me to pick this.
You were just like naked.
Yeah. The title sounds great.
I'm actually with Buddy on that. He said we're going to do the Naked Massacre. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm expecting like, sorority girls, a killer with a big phallic power tool chasing them around.
Something.
Some kind of a
Yeah.
pillow fight thing happening or something like that. No, just depressing. Belfast looks like a depressing place. I hope it looks better now than it did back then. I say you skip the Naked Massacre, inmates.
Yeah.
Do yourselves a favor. All right, we're going to take us a little break. We'll come back with some other stuff, huh?
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, God.
Never.
Never. Whoa. Stevie says never?
Never.
Never.
Does that mean never?
I
You'll
don't-
never watch it?
Don't ever watch it, Steve. You don't need it. It's bad. It's bad all the way around. I mean, unless you're like some kind of a 70s bush aficionado, because there is plenty to be seen here.
God.
I wonder if that's a porno subcategory. 70s bush?
Yes, it is. I
Is it?
stumbled across
Okay.
it.
Or just
I don't
bush.
know how. I just was like scrolling. And
Yeah. Boom!
And
Fur burger.
it went to like that category, and I was like looking, and I'm like, you can't even find that shit in there, lady.
It's what I call jungle warfare. You got to get in there with a machete. You got to cut your way through.
Some head
I'm
scrubbers.
gonna find your vagina. I know it's in there. Where is it? I'm gonna get to that shit.
Gotta be a hairstylist just to figure all that out.
It'd be like
You know,
Indiana-
part it this way.
Indiana Jones.
Spray some.
You're down there with like an old pirate map, scrolls and stuff.
Yeah.
Hang a left. No, right.
Oh, the one that I saw that freaked me out was like she was bending over and like
Oh, when it comes out the back?
the back door was
Yeah.
all hairy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, "Are you a caveman?
Yes.
Well, how did you get like that?"
Feel like Monica stumbles across a lot of weird porn.
I do.
That's true, Ryan. That's
true.
very true.
I Google
She
a lot
stumbles
of stuff.
across. There's no way she was looking for 70s bush porn. Impossible.
I was not looking.
Inconceivable. I'll be honest with you. I have viewed much porn in my day. Never have I stumbled across 70s porn. Or 70s bush, I should say. In fact, I like red flag it when I see it. Take that out of here.
Well, you always got to watch at least one of those things.
She's experimenting over here. Oh, God.
Panties dropping.
Ugh.
Big old row pops out.
Oh, yeah. You got to comb it to find the panties. You people. All right, inmates, I think we're going to go ahead and kill the live feed. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll have this episode out to you later tonight, as usual. And we'll see you next week with more public domain bullshit.
I can't wait. I'm going to pick a good one.
It's Monica's pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a good one.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.